I mean, that's a disaster. I mean, Tom Aspinall still can't see. He's got a fucked up right eyeball still.
It's really bad, right?
The reality is he might not ever fight again. Like, who knows? Like, if he has surgery on his eye and it doesn't go well and he can't see out of the eye, apparently he's still fucked up in his right eye. There's some tendon damage or something. And, you know, eyes are so tricky, you never know. Unless you're a fucking complete psychopath like Michael Bisping, who fought 11 fights in the UFC blind in one eye, which is so crazy that he did that.
I did his podcast,
right? That's your buddy. I did his podcast.
That's my buddy, man, but he's so stupid, man.
What did he say? I did not see this.
Bro, let me put this dude, Josh, man. Josh gonna go up on. See, here's the problem. You know what? So Josh always talks to me about moving to Texas. Oh man, it's so nice in Texas. Problem with moving to Texas is you start believing in stuff that just is not true, man. People, they really...
Listen up. This sport will chew you up and spit you out if you walk in there with anything less than complete focus. The moment you step into that octagon carrying some fantasy about easy victories, you've already sealed your fate. This game doesn't care about your feelings. It rewards only the most vicious competitors. True skill separates the real fighters from the wannabes. Get caught up in social media nonsense or skip training sessions, and your game plan crumbles. When those bright lights hit and you're facing someone who understands what this really takes, you'll learn a lesson that cuts deep. That's just how it works.
It's just not true. Where did Josh Thompson hear that? Could you ever wonder why?
But, like, Daniel, did you see who ended up in the Epstein files?
Rogan, but that's not true.
Yes,
Rogan wasn't in. Rogan
no,
wasn't.
John
in
Jones. John Jones.
You're a liar.
John Jones was his favorite fighter.
Bro, you're a liar, bro.
No bullshit. Go type it in.
Swear on everything.
Swear on everything. I will. You know what? I'll try to send it to Luis right now because you can search them yourselves. Yeah, that's John Jones' favorite fighter.
Look, just because someone's making wild accusations doesn't make them true. People are throwing John Jones's name around, trying to connect him to scandals he has nothing to do with. This goes way beyond trash talk. This is psychological combat, a calculated attack on someone who represents everything this organization stands for. Think that won't mess with his head during camp? Dana White isn't just worried about outside distractions, he's protecting his empire. What happens to a champion when they're carrying the weight of this entire sport on their shoulders?
You know, I was critical because I felt like you know he talked about it and then it just like kept on and kept on and kept on. And I felt like he should just kind of leave it alone and you know for a minute and yeah, it sucks. And here's the thing is he kind of accused Sorgan of cheating, and I'm actually curious to hear your opinion because of a specific opponent of yours. I feel like the ability to poke someone in the eye from space, like that's kind of hard. And if you could be that accurate, why wouldn't you just punch him in their eye?
Yeah. So
here's the thing. We're not talking about accidental contact. We're talking about what a fighter brings with them when they step inside that cage. When someone at this level lets their fingers get loose and starts using them like weapons, that's not coincidence. Not when you're competing at the highest level of mixed martial arts, where every single strike carries championship consequences and can completely alter someone's career trajectory. And honestly, when you can land an eye poke consistently, that's not luck, that's technique. Technique that completely destroys what this competition should represent. The real mind games begin when opponents start anticipating it. When that psychological pressure changes how they fight, breaking down everything they've prepared for. The brutal truth is, these accusations stick around. They damage a fighter's reputation and follow them everywhere, because once that perception exists...
In the octagon, and things are moving so fast, right? I was more inclined to believe that it was an accident. Tom Aspinall doesn't believe it. He thinks without a shadow of a doubt, Cyril Gane poked him in the eye on purpose. I don't believe it. But regardless of that, right? On purpose, on accident, he still suffered long-term damage from this. How long does the UFC wait, though? Okay, Josh was wrong. I don't think that ask has been made yet. If the UFC wanted to, they could just make an interim title fight between someone else while the champion waits. Tom Aspinall fought last year.
In this unforgiving world of professional fighting, an accident is just a devastating consequence you failed to see coming. Think Tom Aspinall's belief that it was intentional doesn't haunt him every day? That psychological damage cuts just as deep as any physical trauma to his vision. The UFC machine operates on results, not explanations. They don't care about the backstory. They only care whether you can perform. The championship waits for no one. If you can't step up, they'll create an interim title fight. Your reign exists on limited time. The moment that uncertainty sets in,
If he fights anymore, and then Tom Aspinall has this injury, it's like, why can't we get these guys together? And that's one of the things the UFC has been so good at, is putting the best athletes together in order to fight. And they didn't do that. Hey, I just dropped in the chat. Damn it, I'm gonna email. I'm gonna text you guys. I'm gonna text you the email from Epstein.
Dude, you're so crazy.
He wants the John Jones Brandon Vera fight.
Dude.
listen to the frustration, the anger building. Why won't the UFC put their actual title holders in there to fight? This isn't about scheduling. It's the crushing championship pressure that makes fighters strategically avoid dangerous opponents. While John Jones' legacy and control define this weight class, other top contenders play vicious mind games, terrified of risking a perfect record. The cold reality is when elite athletes avoid each other, the entire division becomes a complete farce. Evolution stops happening, rankings become meaningless, and the real consequences fall on those warriors willing to actually step inside that cage. So tell me, are we watching legitimate competition or just elaborate?
No, it's emails. There's like 7 million emails. So it's an email from Jeffrey Epstein to someone else saying he wants to watch the John Jones fight. Too funny.
That's so funny. Hey, man, but I think that's a great point, honestly.
Yeah. It stinks.
I never thought of it like that, because here's the deal. Heavyweight is struggling right now, man.
Big time.
Heavyweight is struggling right now, and I love the big boys, but it feels like when you look at the heavyweight division, Lou, throw the rankings in the chat.
Looking at heavyweight right now, this division isn't just broken, it's completely falling apart. The rankings represent nothing but a facade, covering up a complete collapse of championship urgency. We're not seeing the evolving fight IQ, the relentless intensity you demand from true apex killers. Everything feels stale, predictable, and the devastating consequences are hitting the UFC's biggest draws exactly where it matters most. This goes beyond just the elite level. It's about a fundamental failure to generate genuinely exciting championship narratives. When the biggest athletes on the planet can't deliver the pure violence that drives pay-per-view sales, what does that say about the entire fighting business?
It was a bad fight. Him and his opponent got so fatigued. They looked like they weren't ready to fight. They also looked like they just, they didn't look as skilled as we have seen fighters look recently. So what you really need is you need the best guys fighting to kind of wipe the bad performances out. Because guess what?
We're talking about the UFC here, not some amateur show. When you see fighters gassing out looking like they forgot everything they learned, that goes beyond just having a bad night. It represents a complete systematic failure, a breakdown in championship preparation when it counts most. You're watching what happens when someone isn't. Listen, Dana White can't stand this garbage. He demands to see starving assassins, warriors ready to climb the ladder, not lazy veterans making the entire brand look pathetic. These fights aren't just contests anymore, they're statements. And when you deliver that type of performance, what message are you sending about your dedication to this?
Cortez, maybe? Is that his name?
Waldo or Cortez Acosta.
Yeah, him.
Yes, but again, bro, he got beat. He's good, right? But he's lost fights. It's just not in a great place. Would you say that if you put Waldo Cortez Acosta in there with Cyril Gahn or Tom Aspinall, he'd be competitive? Would you?
Well, you're right. So he lost in August of 25 to Pavlovich, Pavlovich is ranked pretty high.
And Pavlovich got knocked out by Tom Aspinall in the first round. It just feels like there's a clear separation between
the elite level, top heavyweight talent, that's a lie, sold to casual observers. Look what went down with Curtis Blades. Skilled competitor, absolutely, but reality hit when Pavlovich exposed that weakness. Then Tom Aspinall claimed interim gold. This represents more than just a talent disparity. It's a massive chasm in quality, a brutal education in consequences. When you're not operating at peak performance, this isn't just about surviving the pressure, the strategic demands, the relentless pursuit of championship status. Every single training session for these top fighters becomes warfare because they understand one mistake, a single mental lapse. Ask yourself, is skill ever enough?
Luis is
competitive. I think it's competitive.
Yes, it would be competitive because he can move.
Yeah.
But Luis is the classic fan of fighting because everybody wants to write Cyril Gane off. And I don't know why.
Because he got choked by John too fast. That's why.
Yeah, but still, bro, you forget that he fought tooth and nail with Francis. You literally just sat up here right now and said the 3 best heavyweights in the world are John, Francis, and Tom Aspinall.
I do believe that to be the case. Yes.
Cyril fought Francis Ngannou very well. Hey, a mistake cost Cyril Gane beating Francis Ngannou when he tried for the leg lock. So how bad is Cyril Gane really? Because he was looking very good against Tom Aspinall.
You're dead wrong trying to write off Cyril Gane. This isn't speculation. This is UFC reality. He pushed Francis Ngannou to his absolute breaking point. That heel hook wasn't weakness. It was pure championship desperation forcing a dangerous gamble. Dismiss him after one loss to John Jones, and you're missing the true quality of someone who submitted him. This goes beyond just a loss. It's really about how the heavyweight landscape works. Does one submission really determine everything? Up to unravel.
Francis Ngannou to fight again because I don't know what he's doing. You got to talk John into it. John's talking about not fighting again. He's got arthritis or something. I agree. I don't know. Maybe we just throw Gable Stevens in there. I've been saying that for a while.
You think, but Gable needs time. John even said in a year Gable will be UFC champ. You don't think he needs a little more time than that?
I said throw him in there, so I'm not saying throw him in against number 1, but I think he's got another fight coming up pretty quick. Put him in there. I don't know, easy. Hey, give him a couple easy ones, right? Then move him up to someone lower ranked. I think.
Everyone talking about Gable Stevenson getting fast-tracked into the UFC like he's not facing absolutely elite competition. They suggest softball matchups for Gable, throwing him in there like it's amateur hour. Think any fighter ranked in the UFC heavyweight top 15 is taking it easy? Championship pressure doesn't just appear after a few tune-up fights. That mentality gets prospects completely destroyed. Sure, give them development time, but it's about whether they have the natural fighting instincts to handle adversity or if they'll just become another cautionary tale. So what does this all really mean for everyone? For us, the fans, the ones pouring money into these pay-per-views, hungry for that pure violence. The Octagon isn't just a fighting space, it's a ruthless, unforgiving mirror. It doesn't just show who wins. It reveals who's truly prepared, who has the fighting intelligence to survive, and who carries the mental toughness to climb that brutal hierarchy, that championship mountain. Hold up, really, it's complete illusion for casual fans. This isn't about being good. It's about performing at a level that destroys good. It's about handling title pressure and the harsh reality of extreme weight cutting meeting the intense spotlight of the biggest platform. You either have the raw hunger to thrive in that shark-infested environment, overcome adversity, and rise to the challenge, or you become another cautionary tale. This business, at the highest level, demands more than basic talent. It requires a warrior's heart, unbreakable commitment, and the hunger for absolute dominance. What are you prepared to sacrifice? Until next time, keep grinding.